folks in the session. I hope this number will go up during the course of the session. Now, okay. So before we get started, let's first understand the topic of the session, which says the subtle art of marketing. Right now, this session is divided into two parts. One, we will be talking about how to build a brand, how to build a company, how to build a startup using uh, social media, using digital channels. Also, we will be talking of how to build your personal brand using social, digital, and stuff like that. So we'll be talking of these two aspects. Now, one mandate which I have for the session that I am a fan of offline trainings, right? And when I do offline trainings, I make sure that they are super interactive, they are super engaging. Now, since we are living in a world of online, I have to make sure that the same enthusiasm gets carried in the online sessions as well. Now, what do we have to do for that? There are two things, and did I see Harsha did mention there is a surprise. Now I also want to tie a surprise and an element of more engagement to this whole session. So what we're going to do here, that throughout the session, right, I would want and this is unlike any session wherein I'm going to talk theory and listen, make notes. I think it's only makes sense when we try and do things in real time, what we are discussing about, so that we can free our hands on. So what I want to do during the course of the session, what am I talking, how is the session progressing, I would want you to live tweet. And maybe if you are active on Instagram, you can push updates on story as well. That On Instagram you can also tag Vision Talks and my handle, which is displayed on the screen, which says I am Ammar. And on Twitter also you can tag this handle, and you can talk any aspect of the session, any figure I'm showing, any fact I'm showing, anything interesting you're liking about it. And there's a catch to this whole thing, that one good tweet and one good story I'm gonna pick as a winner. Now what does this winner get? And I'm not gonna keep it surprise, I'm gonna keep it very straightforward. So one good tweet and one good story I'm gonna pick up, and you get an option to have in 1 hour interaction with me, one-on-one. You can talk about your career, your company, your brand, your startup, whatever it is. You can talk and discuss, right? So that's about the whole session. And how do you have to be active, and you can also use this hashtag which says let's go digital. So you can use this hashtag as well. So remember, you have to tweet, you have to post on Instagram, and use the hashtag also, let's go digital, right? uh, Feel free to use screenshots, feel free to take pictures. If you're on mobile, you can just take screenshots and post about it. Now, Harsha did introduce me that you know who I am, but let me also take a couple of moments and introduce. So I run this digital marketing agency called One Digi Store, and we are a boutique agency. We have products, we have services, we provide end-to-end digital marketing solutions, from performance marketing, influencer marketing, lead generation, and we are also a product company wherein we have a couple of products. Which are targeted towards small and medium businesses, right? And I'm also associated as a trainer with organizations like Upgrad, United States department. So I do, I actively, and my one of the passion is to train people, and so that I happen to be within the industry of digital marketing. So I am a digital marketing trainer. Now, before we go ahead, right, I quickly want to understand the audience who are with us now. If you can quickly, so I do see there are a few polls, but then since I did not have created polls, we will directly talk. You can type in the chat box. So first thing first, if you can tell me, I mean, what who are you? Are you a student? Are you a student plus intern? Are you
Yeah.
into some startup, right?
So
So if you can
right now
give.
I just started the poll, which says who are you, and it asks few questions:
Okay.
student, marketing,
Okay.
employee, entrepreneur, working professional, something like that. So yeah.
Perfect. Okay,
Okay.
and how
So
do I get to see? Okay, I get to see the votes.
I'll
Okay,
show
fine.
you. I'll show you after this. There are like 35 people
Okay,
already answered it. Yeah.
sure, sure,
So
sure. I
I'm still
see that.
waiting
So
for.
there,
Yeah.
got it. Okay, I do see
Yeah.
few responses already. Yeah.
Awesome. So yeah. So there are like a bit. like 41 students, 41 people answered it already, and out of 43 of them, 34 are students, 16 people, I mean 7 people are entrepreneurs, 2 words for working professionals, and there are no marketing employees. So
All
yeah,
right.
that would be the case. So
Perfect.
most of them are
Perfect. Okay.
students. Yeah.
Got it. So we have a diverse set of audience. Okay. I now there's this entrepreneurs looking to dive into digital to boost my business. Okay. So that's an interesting thing. Now coming to the second question, right? Why are you here today? I mean, do we have a poll for that as well, Harsha?
Maybe we can
No.
ask a poll right now.
Yeah,
Why
we can
are
directly ask the
we
question, right?
here?
Yeah, we can ask
Why
the
are you? Yeah, why are you here? I am asking that question. So I am setting a
sure.
character limit of 300, but yeah, I think you can't write that much in this much less time. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'll put it 120 characters. So create. I
Got it.
created the poll. So yeah, I
Yep.
started the poll. So just type in, guys.
Sure.
Type in the answers over there, which ask you why are you here. Just be quick, and yeah, it will be like pretty short answers, which will give us the complete understanding of why are you here to learn about marketing.
Okay.
Awesome. One says to learn about marketing. Uh,
Right.
uh, okay, to learn about digital
To learn,
marketing. Okay.
okay, to learn about, know about marketing, to know about how to start our own startups. All right.
Uh, okay,
Hmm.
understanding marketing psychs. Okay, learning about marketing, learning about to learn something. Okay, awesome. That is like okay. I work for WissionTalks. Okay, cool. I am interested in marketing. Okay, to learn about digital marketing, gain knowledge of digital. I think Amar, you can also see this, right? The poll results.
Yeah, yeah, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it. Yeah, yeah, I see it.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome, awesome. Okay.
Though it's my first time with Zoho, but then I can see
It's
this.
cool, right?
Yeah.
It's cool, right?
So
I mean,
yeah,
uh,
yeah, yeah. So okay. So
learn
to
about
use
this,
digital marketing techniques, digital marketing understandings. Perfect. Perfect. To know about digital marketing. All right. Okay.
love the
Knowledge.
caption, not to love the marketing. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Okay. So that should be it. Now, coming to the third question, and that's an interesting one, and I want to see how many of you get it right. So what I'm wearing right now below my shirt, is it a trouser? Is it a short? Okay, just kidding. You don't have to answer that. And I wouldn't want to answer it either. So let's just deep dive
Start
into
a
the
poll.
session, right?
Okay, fine.
Okay. So now, guys, we want to start with first. What is digital marketing, right? Now we know there's something called marketing. We have heard what is marketing, but what is digital marketing? So digital marketing, if I simply put, it's a promotion of product, service, brand on an electronic device. So if you are aware of marketing, if you know about, let's say there are four P's of marketing: product, price, place, promotion. All of them apply to the digital marketing world. Is that the only thing which is changing here is, instead of doing it offline, you're doing it online, right? So that's what digital marketing is all about. Now it's a buzzword. It's a very deep field. It's a very vast ocean if you dive into it. And often it gets there are a lot of misconception involved as well around this, right? So that's what we will be talking about, that and we'll simplify or demystify this word digital marketing. And as, let's say, majority of your students, how can you use that? Few professionals as well, how can you use that? So we'll talk about all of that, right? Now, coming to the point, that why is digital marketing so trendy? Before we get into the concepts of digital marketing, before we get into the techniques of digital marketing, how do you do digital marketing, why is digital marketing so trendy? Let's understand that. And it's super obvious, and all of that know that it's a cheap skill. It's cheap to do digital marketing. All you need to be expert of, how to best utilize Instagram, Facebook, ad platforms, email marketing. And the platforms are super cheap, but then all you need is skill, right? So that's make it trendy. Second, it's fun to do, right? It's creative, it's interactive. Now you consider a job, or you consider a profile wherein you have to slog your uh, dash on field, versus you have to sit in front of system and just apply your creativity and create cool campaigns, create cool hashtags, apply experimentation of what kind of content will my audience like. So that's fun that way, right? And best part, and this is the part wherein I love that worldwide. Uh, so the limit is the entire world, right? You don't have any limitation today. If you are in an offline business, you know that you can service 5 kilometer radius, 7 kilometer radius, 10 kilometer radius. But when it comes to digital marketing, you can, sitting in India, you can work with people in Australia. Sitting in India, you can work with people in Dubai. So there's no limit to who you can work with and who you can target, and that's the beauty of this platform. Now, and the second best part about what I like personally about digital marketing, that it's very easy to track and analyze. Now consider that I pay, let's say, a 2 crore rupee for an ad on the Hindu, and next day morning it gets delivered. I do not know that where did it get, whom, how many people even saw it, how many people even read it, how many people saw the bottom of the page, how many people saw just the first part of the page, and we do not know any of it. But then when it comes to digital marketing, when it comes to online marketing, you get to see all of it, the metrics, how many people saw it, how many people click on it. So everything is easy to analyze, everything is easy to track, right? So that's one of the most important aspect why uh, digital marketing is so trendy now. As we discussed, that there is no geographical boundary, and there is where there is no physical boundary as well. So there's no physical limit to how or where you can do this, right? All you need is just good connectivity, a system to operate on, and some kick-ass ideas which you can execute upon, right? Now, without wasting much of a time, we will get into it, and we'll deep dive into the concepts of digital marketing. Now, as I said, we'll divide this into two parts. One, we will talk from a startup point of view, an entrepreneur point of view, that what concepts, how you can use it, and again, as students also, how, which channels, even though, let's say, even if you're not thinking of startups right now, but how can these social media platforms, how can these online platforms help you build your own brand, right? So we'll talk about that as well in the later part of the session. Now, today we will be talking of 5 areas of digital marketing, which is search engine marketing, display, content marketing, and communication. Now, before we get into it, right, you will find this session going in fast pace, because you cannot technically teach someone digital marketing in a span of an hour or 45 minutes, because it's a very vast field. It's a very deep subject. Even if I just pick search engine marketing, I would have to take at least 20 hours of workshop just to explain you how search engine marketing works. So it's a very deep field, but then we'll touch upon this, we'll brush upon the subjects, and we'll move on to the next. So you'll have to follow quickly the topics, the things we are discussing, and so it will be a fast-paced session. And as I said again, I want it to be interactive in two way, right? One, that I want your tweets to be coming in. I want your Instagram stories to be coming in. That's one. And again, in a lot of things, you will have questions. We will definitely take questions. Okay, sir, some noises are coming. I guess, Harsha, if you are not talking, maybe if your mic can be on mute, because if two of us have our mic on, that will create definitely some kind of problem in terms of audience, right? So we
Yeah,
can,
yeah, sure.
uh,
I'll off my mic. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So you can turn off your mic. Okay, so that's taken care of. Now, coming to the question answers part of it, you can ask throughout the session, and as and when I look at the window of question, I'll want to answer it. And also, we will want to have a dedicated question and answer session in the end, so you can ask any of it you would want to ask, right? All right. Now, so we'll deep dive, right? Now, search engine marketing is something which we wanna discuss about. Now, I have a question here, right? The question is that if, let's say, I have a dead body, okay, and I want to hide it, okay, what is the best place to hide that dead body? People would say that, okay, we wanted to do a digital marketing session. This session looks to be like a CID session. the ocean, okay, cut into two pieces and throw in the river, refrigerator. Okay, I see super interesting answers coming in, and I guess let them coming in. Maybe dig a grave. Okay, I guess Akshay. Okay, Akshay has attempted a very good answer to this, and maybe he has heard of it before, but nonetheless, since it's there already, uh, we will take that answer from Akshay that it is not definitely a grave, refrigerator, sand grave. Yeah, I mean, they can be. I cannot judge those answers. But then, in context to today's session, as Akshay said, that second page of Google is the best place to hide a dead body because tell me, when was the last time you went to search Google's second search page? Of course, if you were looking for an assignment, or you're looking to know more about a subject, you would. But then when a customer searches, let's say for a brand, for a service, for a product, no one goes beyond the first page, right? In fact, no one goes beyond the first three or four listings, right? uh, so that's something which uh, was a key takeaway from here, that when we do search engine marketing, when we do search engine optimization, something which we'll discuss going further, uh, you know you need to be always ensure that you are there on the first page of Google search results. Now, search engine marketing again is a very broad field, very broad subject. You will have to go into technical part of it, but then if I were to just brush up on what is search engine optimization, it is if you have a website and if you want it to appear in search result on the front page, you need to optimize your website according to the search engine. So you need to add those relevant keyword, you need to add those relevant meta tags, title tags, so that you are appearing in the search results properly, right? And there's nothing of that what I am discussing is not available out there in internet, of course. So what you can do, the key points, the major point which you think you would want to learn in depth, or you think that okay, what Amar just said about search engine optimization, I think that this sounds cool to me, I would want to explore a career in this. You can watch more detailed videos on that, and you also learn these things in detail. For students, this is especially, right? Now, the question is that who do not use Google, right? And today, if you have to look for barber, to today you have to look for a carpenter, the first thing you do is let me Google it out and see where I can find something quickly, where I can find something near me quickly, right? So considering that, Google becomes a very obvious choice and the first choice of any marketer online, right? And if you look at it, this graph which is there on the screen right now, which also says the same, right? You need to be ideally in the first two three pages when it comes to a brand or a product which not so commonly available. It's even okay to be there in second third result, but then if you are close market wherein the competition is super tight, there are tons and tons of competitors out there, you need to be definitely be available on the first page of result, right? So, and within Google you have something called Google Ads as well. Now, by using Google Ads, you can ensure that your brand or your company or your startup can appear whenever people are looking for a specific keyword. You can also ensure that you have display ads. So today, let's say if you open IRCTC, right, you see there are few ads popping up. They are not controlled by IRCTC, they are controlled by Google Ads. So you can bid for which spot I want to appear my ads. All this you can do via Google Ads. And as I said, you can go out, explore these platforms on yourself, and try and see what these platforms or how these platforms can help your uh, company or brand or startup, right? So now we'll get into another subject of the session, which is content marketing. Now, this happens to be one of my most loved section, and especially because today, if you understand this entire world or the entire market of digital marketing, online marketing, the way this is functioning, that you will get to hear from, and not just me, right? You will have you either might have heard a lot of trainers, a lot of speakers, especially in this pandemic, or you would have attended a lot of webinars, and everyone talks of how email marketing is the best, how Facebook marketing is the best, what algorithms are for Facebook, what algorithms are for Twitter. But then no one understands today the human side of it, and that's what something which is missing in most of the online marketing efforts. Now today, if you understand and you ask yourself this question, yourself itself, that if today I have to log into Facebook, or if I open WhatsApp, or if I open Twitter, how many a times I would want to see an ad popping up on my screen. I am there on Facebook to connect with my friends. I am there on Twitter to, let's say, tweet or maybe bash a brand or complain to a politician. I am there on Instagram to flaunt my new dress, to flaunt my beach selfie, to flaunt my new bike, new car. No one really cares, right, on this platform, that I want to see a brand coming on my screen and selling me their products and services. But then what stands out, let's say if you follow Swiggy, if you follow Zomato, they don't tell that go buy mutton biryani for 200 rupees. Instead they create interesting content which you feel like engaging, which you feel like commenting, which you feel like even tagging your friends. So that's what something which some of the brands are acing at it, some of the companies are acing at it, but then few people just don't get it. And we will discuss that how can you get your content marketing right. And this applies to all of us, be it companies, startup, entrepreneurs, students, professionals not in marketing field. This applies to all of us, and we'll discuss how. Right now, what is content marketing? Content marketing is a natural way to do SEO. So if you do a lot of good content on your website will automatically appear in the higher rankings of the search result. Now, this is something which I would want. Maybe you can take a screenshot, you can take a picture, and you need to keep this handy with you in future. So there are four quadrants of content marketing. So which talks about that why essentially someone would create content, okay, or which kind of content you should create, and what it is aimed at doing. So either you create content for your company, brand, product, whatever it is, which entertains people. So you create content which inspire people, or which educate, or which convinces. Now apart from that there's nothing, right? And what happens if you stick to these four quadrants, and if you're consistently creating content which is inspiring people? Now when you inspire people, they feel compelled to share that further, they stick to your brand. When you educate further, people, they would want to again share it further, they build trust with you. When you entertain people by your content, who does not want to get entertained, so they stick with your brand again. And if your content is convincing enough that, okay, let's say 500 people took my hair oil and it did not work for them, so why did it work for you? So don't buy my hair oil, right? So something like this. So you need to push out content which convinces people, and if you put out, it's a win-win for you. So take a picture, take a screenshot of this slide, and it'll come handy if you even looking to do internship somewhere, and someone asks you that, okay, we want a content marketing intern, and what type of content can you help you with? Just tell them entertain, inspire, convince, educate, and they'll definitely get convinced by it, right? Because ultimately with our content also we have to convince someone, right? Now if you, I know you would have read right somewhere that today an attention span of a goldfish is 3 seconds, and we as human being, we have attention even less than a goldfish. And when it comes to these online platforms, these online channels, this online media, there's so much happening. At In 1 second I'm there on Twitter, in 1 second I'm there on Facebook, in 1 second I'm there on Instagram. So I'm constantly switching, I'm constantly shifting. I am, from Netflix to Hotstar, from Hotspot to Crickbuzz. I'm constantly shifting and changing gears. So in that whole period of time, it is very important for me to put out content, or for me to put out stuff which gets attention, And once I get attention, I get traffic to my page, and once I get traffic, I can monetize that traffic. Okay. Now, just to throw around some stats in 1 minute, and this is some old data. I'm sure this numbers would have increased. So in 1 minute, these much of activity is happening, right? So if I go on for one more minute in this session, there would be these many numbers of share, this many number of photos, this many number of tweets, this many numbers of new video, 72 hour of video uploaded on YouTube, right? And this world is super dynamic. While in an offline world, you can still track things. When a holding is coming up and going down, you can still see it. But when it comes to a digital ad, you don't know. In a minute it's there, in a minute it gets replaced by the next highest bidder, right? So this is what digital marketing, online marketing is all about. It's super agile, it's super dynamic, and we need to be up for it to be able to adapt to these changes. Now, coming to the next part of uh, the session, which is about, now we will slowly drift towards the personal branding part of it, right? Now, but as a brand as well, it is very important, or as a startup as well, or as a company as well, it's very important for you to understand why are you sharing a piece of content. And only if you are sharing from these six pointers, you are making sense. Or else if you're doing it apart from these six reasons, I guess you are making a mess, right? And I would again want you to take a screenshot, maybe take a picture of this slide and then keep it handy with you. So put out or create content which either defines yourself in, or either which via you are giving your opinion, you're supporting a cause, you're talking of universal topics. Let's say uh, today something is trending, or today you want to put out on views or something. Let's say if you are a technology profession, and you want to talk of blockchain, so you talk about that on a consistent basis, or you're putting out some useful information, right? And it's simple rule, it's a straightforward logic that your content either has to be memorable, and it has to be accurate. There's no midway apart from that, right? Now, we spoke of content, we spoke of few channels, and I am not going into the obvious channels of Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, because as a consumer, we know more than anyone could. And in my all of my sessions, unless it's a boot camp or it's a detailed session wherein we are teaching someone how to run ads or how to do actually marketing using it, especially in an overview webinar, I give this piece of advice that even if you have to think as a marketer, or even if you have to think that, okay, for my startup, for my company, how do I use this social media channels, because I did not really touch upon them. Always think from a standpoint of customer or a consumer, that if I were a consumer of the same brand or the same product, how would I want to see a communication about this. And always make sure that your communications, or your you know post or stories or tweets, whatever you do on social media or videos, they have to be platform specific. And that's a big thing which gets missed upon. Now, what happens, especially let's say if there are few entrepreneurs here, they would resonate with it. Or even if you are let's say student, you would have seen this. Few brands or few companies, what they do, they create a video, they put that on Facebook as well, Instagram as well, Twitter as well, LinkedIn as well, it's everywhere. But if you see all these platforms, they have their own objectives. LinkedIn has a different objective, people like to read on LinkedIn. Instagram, it's more about visual. Facebook, maybe it's more about video. Twitter, it's more about threads and more about tweets or small content. So your content, your communication has to be platform specific. And that's only when you can win this game of online marketing. Now, we are coming to a very interesting topic, or an interesting section, which is online branding, but not for a company standpoint of view, for a personal standpoint. And as an entrepreneur, as a student, as a company, as a founder, co-founder, I see majority of people missing out on this. Now, when I talk to a founder, co-founder, when I say why is your personal brand missing? Why I don't see you active on LinkedIn? Why I don't see you active on Twitter or on Instagram? They say no, I am busy building my company's brand. And when I ask student or when I ask a working professional, why are you not building your own brand? Like, from a student, the typical response which comes is, no, I do post on Twitter and Facebook, right? But I'm not talking of those selfies which you took on a beach, right? You're talking of in the field which you want to build career. When I talk to professionals, they say, okay, but then I work for a company. Whose brand do I build? So there is a big confusion out there that what essentially first online brand or personal brand means, and how do I build this brand, right? So we'll talk quickly about it. Now I want to give some examples here. Now today you understand that in whichever sections or streams you are, either you're a student, a professional, or let's say you are a founder, co-founder, entrepreneur, right? Today, though you have a company, you work or you study, or whatever it is, it's not that let's say the job is end to the world, that study career is end to the world, or this company is end to the world. You should be known personally as well, and that's where the personal brand kicks in. And I read somewhere that your personal brand is what, before even you enter the room, if someone can know you, or you have built that authority online or offline, wherever it is, that let's say before someone walks into that room and they are known who they are, that's what that personal brand is, right? So even if you are going there for sharing a company presentation, but then your online brand is so well known, or your personal brand is so well known, that you get known by yourself first and after your company, that's a win-win, right? And how do I build this personal brand, and how do I go about it is a question. Now, we'll divide that into four subjects. First, you'll have to be visible. You have to be there on all the platforms, and especially if you want to build your career in digital marketing, there is no option to it, right? You have to be on all the channels, be it Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Tinder. Okay, you can ignore Tinder, right? But then all the marketing platforms you have to be where brand markets. And by the way, if you are actually there on Tinder, you would see there are a lot of marketing activity happening as well, right? You would see a lot of ads coming in between. So also, if you have to be an observer, you should be there as well, and there's no harm in observing things, right? You might not want to use it, that's your personal choice, right? You have to manage your reputation, so you have to be associated. So let's say today you attend a webinar, today you attend a seminar, put out maybe a message on LinkedIn saying that, what, I was watching this webinar on how to, let's say, the subtle art of marketing, which was done by Vision Arts, conducted by Amar Kachwala. Tag him, tag Vision Talks. They will comment, they will like it. That way their audience will get to like it and see it. Okay, there's someone who's doing this. So there see, these are ways wherein you be visible, you have your reputation built, you have a communication strategy, and you will have to find these options wherein how can I become more active, and how can I be more consistent on these channels, right? I'm sure these all channels you must be using day in day out, but often if you revisit how you are using, we use it more as a consumer. You must be active, let's say 7 hours on Instagram, but then all you must be doing is scrolling feeds. That's not going to help. If you want to become, and let's say you build your personal brand, talk about your company subtly, right? You can have a mixed communication strategy. Let's say if you have to build on Twitter, you can do that. Now let me put out some examples here, right? I got my first job via Twitter, right? I met my wife on Twitter, and uh, I have best of my friends today, which I know today. I have met them on Twitter, right? So okay, in my life, maybe one platform which is Twitter has had super influence, but then for you it can be LinkedIn, for you it can be Instagram. You and whichever platform you pick, you want to be active on, be consistent on that, and we'll talk about that going further, that how do you do it, right? Now, since Twitter happens to be one of my favorite platform, and I told you, right, the obvious reasons why, uh, you can use Twitter to do these things. You can inform, You can follow up with brands today, right? When you have to complain, if your Swiggy order was late, where do you go and bash? You don't go to Facebook or Instagram, you go to Twitter, right? If you have to follow up, if you have to network, if you have to look for jobs, I see so many tweets out there, guys, you will not believe. I see so many tweets today. In fact, I had one intern joining us for past 3 months. She all completed her stint only yesterday. So she put out a tweet saying that, what, I'm looking for a content writing job, and um, XYZ she wrote. A lot of people retweeted. Then I got to see that tweet. I replied on that tweet, and then she worked with us for 3 months, and it was a paid internship. So there's definitely an opportunity like that. I see there are a lot of people who get their jobs via Twitter, right? You get to network with people, follow people who are active, follow people active in your industry who engage with people, other people in your industry, and go and talk to them, go and engage with them, create a personal rapport with them. And how to do it? Again, as I said, let's say if you are in an offline event, if you meet someone, take a picture with them, post a selfie with them, tag them that it was nice meeting you. If you're there in an offline event, take a picture of that speaker on the stage, take us, tag them that it was nice hearing you. That's where you get to be seen. That's how you get to be heard, right? So these are minor things if you look at it in a micro perspective, but over a period of time, if that becomes your habit, if that becomes how you operate online, that helps you immensely, right? And one thing which I find a little sad about how people use online channels, that you are there active, right? Today you heard the session, you're like, wow, you can get a job, you can get a wife, you can meet so many people via online channels. Let me be active from today. And then you are active for 5 days, no one is liking your tweet, no one is liking your post on Instagram, no one is liking your Facebook post. You're like, I don't think this works out for me, man. I guess I'm better off just watching Netflix and scrolling feed and just doing that. So it will not work out that way, right? You have to be consistent, you have to be percept you have to be very keen on doing it, and you'll have to be follow what you have chalked out for yourself. Okay. Now, there are three things which you need to understand. Why, I call it, there are three commandments of online marketing or digital world. You should always know what your customer wants. You should always know where your customer resides, and you should always know what kind of language your customer wants. Now, for students, this gets replaced with what kind of company you are looking for, right? So you replace, if you are looking for getting hired somewhere, if you want to work with some company, you should know what the company you want to work with wants, right? Where they want it, and what kind of language they would want to hear from a prospective employee, right? So these are the three commandments of online marketing, digital marketing, right? And I guess that's in nutshell about how do you go online, one as a company, as a brand, as a startup. Second, on a personal level, how do you go online, right? Now, as I said, we would want this to be an engaging activity. We do not want to be just a one-sided session, right?